Tell me about your job. Okay. Well, I work for a large company called ABC. We specialize in software design. The company is based in Kuwait City. There you go. Lovely. 3 sentences with a little bit of detail, and you can have that answer pre-prepared. Is there anything you dislike about your job? That one comes up sometimes. Most of the time I really like my job. However, sometimes my work can be quite boring, but on the whole I'm happy at ABC. And these are things that you can rehearse, not to the point, I'm not saying rehearse to the point of scripting the answer, but you do want to feel yourself saying this. You want to feel how the flow works with you, and you want to have it imprinted properly in your brain, so when you call upon it, it's there in more than just I read it once on a piece of paper, or I took the note down once when I was in that class, because it's not real memory, and it won't sound natural because your brain is recalling it in a different way. If you've spoken it many times, you might even slip up, but that doesn't matter. You'll still be fluent, you won't hesitate, and you will have gone into detail. Mistakes, you will make mistakes. Don't worry too much about them. What are your plans for the future? I would like to improve my English and then move to Australia for a few years. I would also like to study a master's degree. I'm a big fan of I would like to, even, because most of the time you're going to use it with verbs. I would like to, I think, is one of the most useful phrases in the English language. So I would get used to it. There you go, I just used it. I would get used to it if I were you, because it's very useful. It's reasonably formal. It's very natural to native speakers, and it sounds good, and it's not as definite as I want, which most people of a certain age probably get sick of hearing I want, especially if they've got children. So I think people appreciate hearing I would like. Okay, on we go with a few more. Do you like reading? Don't know where that one came from, but yes, I really like reading. I especially like reading detective novels. My favourite is Sherlock Holmes stories. So again, 3 sentences. You've answered the question with the question, and you've gone into then a certain amount of detail with this detective novels, and then you've gone further on with more detail by giving the Sherlock Holmes. What kind of TV programs do you watch? Well, hopefully you've got some idea of what I suggest you should do with your answers, but let's see what we've got here. I really like watching the History Channel. The programs are always very interesting. I really like to watch programs about the Romans. It's all very simple. The language is very simple, but it's the structure that I believe is crucial in all parts of the speaking. So again, you've got it's just a progression that similar to the books, but you've got a little bit of description in there, and then you brought in the fact that you like watching programs about the Romans. It could be anything, wildlife, anything at all, who knows, right? Tell me about a film you watched recently. Well, I went to the cinema last week and saw a movie called blah blah blah. It's a comedy with Bob Smith. I enjoyed it very much. Again, not a particularly amazing answer, but if it's spoken fluently, it's wonderful. And by this time, the examiner has probably decided, okay, we'll move on to part 2, because this person is obviously capable of replying to these initial questions that they give in the part 1. So what am I suggesting here? I'm suggesting that you learn to give 3-sentence answers, minimum of 2, never just a one sentence answer, because part of the test is, can you go into detail? What's your favourite festival and why? Yes, my favourite festival is Eid. It's a very important festival in Muslim countries because it marks the end of Ramadan. I like it because everybody is happy and people visit their friends and family. Lovely. How do people celebrate this festival? Okay, this is when they give you another question related to a previous question. So this one you should be aware of as well, that they might ask you one question and then there's a follow-up to it. So there you are. Well, nobody goes to work, so they're very happy, and we make special meals that the family eats together. Also, we give presents to the children and everybody goes shopping. So again, look, it's not that the language is not that difficult. In fact, it's far from difficult. If you can't use this language here, then the question should be whether or not it's the right time for you to be doing an IELTS. So, but what is important is that you've put 2 to 3 sentences together and you've gone into a certain amount of detail. So there you have it. There's one small point that's maybe worth bringing up, is the use of well, because it's very, very natural for native speakers when they're asked a question that the first thing to come out of their mouth is well, and it's actually quite reasonable language to use because it gains you some thinking time, and what it also does is it does tell the examiner that you are going to speak. Silence is your enemy in the speaking module. Well, I would say that's another nice piece as well. So you get yourself a couple of seconds of thinking time with, well, I would say that nobody goes to work and they're all very happy, and on you go. So there you are. Any further? There you have it. You should prepare and practice answers to the most common subjects. This goes without saying, but very often just goes without being done. You really do need to practice them, and you need to feel these answers, feel the way this structure works, and allow your brain to, it needs to be doing a couple of things at the same time. One of them is the slightly planning ahead how this answer is going to go, and at the same time you're actually speaking part of it. So you need to get that coordination between those two functions, if you like. You need to get that coordination down, and the only way you're going to do that is by practicing. And always reply with extra information. Don't just directly answer the question.